Hello and welcome to a very special video. I have completed all of the Word Bearers reviews, and now is the time for me to give you a review of my whole Word Bearers collection. Now, of course, off camera there's lots of tanks and transports and other units that I will be placing into this force that will fit in very well with the Legion, but this is all of the Legion specific stuff, with the exception of like one model, and I'll draw attention to that model later on in the video, but this is all of the Word Bearers unique units. Looking at it right there, this collection right here will cost you about £800. It's quite a lot of money. I think one of the most expensive sort of units to get would be the double purchasing of the Ashen Circle at the back. I think 2 units of those is about 104, so for 10, and also the standard Mark IVs on the right hand side with their upgrades, with their resin upgrades, will cost you close to £90. So let's go through each one of these units and models individually. They do have individual reviews where I go through size comparisons and their full rules in this Horus Heresy sort of 2.0 rule set. So let's kick off the video with the man himself, the Primarch of Word Bearers, Lorgar, right here. One of the earliest models that Forge World released for Horus Heresy in terms of Primarchs. He is small now, compared to other Primarchs and things, but I would suggest you watch my Lorgar review where I do some size comparisons with all of the other Primarchs like Magnus and Khan and Sanguinius and so on. He could do with a bit of a size buff increase, but he's not as sort of small as, say, Angron, for instance. Nice model, not a lot to him. There's a fair amount of detail on his armour and things, and his mace is pretty cool. The base is very Word Bearers-esque. He's a decent enough Primarch for Word Bearers. I like him. And not too tricky to put together either. Then we've got on the left hand side Cor Phaeron and Erebus. I know Erebus, everybody's favourite character from the Horus Heresy. But yeah, this was a jewel that I thought long and hard picking up. I had to pick it up because I collect Word Bearers as well, you see, and Word Bearers are my 40k Chaos Space Marine army. Which is good because it means like there's a lot of cross use of some of the units and the models, in terms of the Rhinos and the Gal Vorbak, and even like Maragal, using that as a Hellbrute. But yeah, Erebus, lots of detail on this model, on this base. Cor Phaeron is a bit wobbly. I don't know whether I'd ever magnetize him, but yeah, it seems quite expensive. But then when you split the cost into 2, it works out about the same as 2 characters, and they are 2 characters in their own rights. They can be independent from one another. They're just on this scenic base, just because it comes with it. But yeah, check out my reviews of these where I go look really far in detail at all the little intricacies and things on their armours. Word Bearers are great for picking out the detail, with all the writing and the sigils and things. One of the best armies, I think, for the amount of detail that you get for your money. Now let's draw attention to kind of a non-Word Bearers unit that I thought I'd throw in here, and there are a few others that are off the camera that I would include in the Word Bearers force, but it's this one right here. This Cataphractii Praetor and Cataphractii armour. I just think he works really well for Word Bearers. He's got a book. That's a good start. He's got some skulls, and he's even got a demon that's sort of manifesting out of his sort of power claw there, which looks great. This is I think it was a Warhammer World exclusive, so you could only pick this up from Warhammer World. I really like the cape and the tatteredness about it. The chain axe is all right. There could be more detail on there. It just looks like a an axe that has teeth on it as opposed to like a proper chain axe. But still, this has been around for quite some time, but I just think it works really well with word bearers compared to, like, he wouldn't work with my Death Guard or my Emperor's Children. So for word bearers, yeah, and he'd work quite well with 40k, I think, as well, as, like, you know, one of the Terminator sergeants. But that's the model that isn't technically a word bearer's unit, but I've just included him in the force. Then if we move over to another sort of character with his two blade slaves, so this is Zardu Layak. Again, very nice mini. Trying to show you some of the detail and things with these. Great helmet there with all of those, I think, 6 eyes. Good staff. Yeah, just a nice mini, along with the 2 blade slaves, which, you know, nothing stopping you from, you know, if you don't take Zardu Layak with the blade slaves, you can have these as the Gal Vorbak. Absolutely fine. They're the same size base, same size mini almost. These are a bit chunkier, but same height. So that's the blade slaves. Lots of detail, as you can see. Again, I look at these much more in detail in the reviews. Then we'll stay on to Gal Vorbak for a while. Over the left side, we've got the full gang here. So we've got Aral Ti, you know, right here with the big wings. Quite an expensive model now, but everything about him just sort of works. It's in symmetry. The armor, the bones, the wings. He's holding half of a Space Marine there. It's fantastic. And you know, not too old, only 2 or 3 years old now, probably 2 years old. Then you've got some of the Gal Vorbak themselves. I won't show you all of them, but they're pretty cool, and yeah, can be stand-ins for Possessed. Then this is a word bearers unit, and I almost forgot about him, but I've got the word bearers Praetor. I really like this Terminator. I think word bearers Terminators just look awesome. The weapon itself was a bit of a pain to put together. This you know, like where it glued on, this kind of combi melter weapon. The mace, the smoke, I'm not a massive fan of that smoke. Maybe it's on fire in there or something, but the helmet is where it's at with this one. Like these are like the first chaplains, aren't they? Let's face it. And this Terminator has like a skull for a helmet. So cool. I do like the flames, and I like the bones and the skeletons and things. Let's move back to Gal Vorbak in a way with a Gal Vorbak Contemptor Dreadnought. This is Maragal. Like a big infusion of a Contemptor with ruinous powers. Loads of detail on this one. It's pricey, but you know, you could use it as a word bearer's Contemptor, or a Hell Brute in 40k. Great mini. Just you know, get the hairdryer or whatever you use to warm up resin, and just bend the parts into a pose that you like, really, because I don't think that the pose that it comes in is particularly good. Let's just move over to the right side now. So speaking of Contemptor Dreadnoughts and things, here is the word bearer's Contemptor Dreadnought. Again, I'm not sure how I feel about this chain fist. I might remove it. I did it for a rules thing, in that I wanted it to be like a proper anti-vehicle, anti-tank you know, unit. Word bearers typically don't have many of those, so I gave it the Gravis multi-melter, and then the melter gun in there, and then the chain fist. Obviously it's very good against armor, but maybe it would work, but just not in that pose that I've put it in. But lots of detail on that. Then over here I've got the Ashen Circle. Very nice minis, just tricky to pose, really. You can pose the arms in whichever way you want, but the heads unfortunately are sculpted to the bodies, so you're not going to be able to move those heads about whatever weapon pose you go for. You know, and if you do get 10, yeah, it's worth kind of putting them on their toes a bit and moving them about, so that you don't get a load of twins on here. You just got to be careful with the poses, because you know, if you just build them the way they have, and you don't move the arms, and you put the feet where they have, then you're easily going to end up with, you know, 5 of the same looking model. Over to the right side, I've got that pretty expensive kind of £87 10-man heavy support squad. I mean, in reality, it's 2 5-men heavy support squads, and then it has a Wordbearers Legion specific Rhino with the Wordbearer Rhino doors as well. I wanted to use the torsos and the heads and the pauldrons for a kind of more expensive unit rather than just Space Marines, and I think this was a good use of them, rather than a unit of 10 sort of standard Mark IVs. And also, I don't think everybody can justify the cost of doing that. If you have, you know, 40 Space Marines and you want to have Wordbearers heads, torsos and shoulder pauldrons, that's an extra £48 per 10-man squad. It's basically almost 100 quid per 20, so you're spending, you know, 250 pounds more, you know, on your troops just to have them you know, Legion specific, which, you know, yeah, if you've got one Legion, I can understand that, but, you know, if you've got multiple and things, then that's a bit harder to justify. Then finally, snuggled in with all these is probably one of my favourite models of the Wordbearers Legion, and that is the Wordbearers Legion specific Praetor. Massive sword, double-handed sword there. You've got the plasma pistol, you've got the awesome looking armour, and then you've got a plume, then you've got a bone Mohican. I mean, can it get any better than that? It's just a fantastic mini, great pose, works with Wordbearers fantastically well. So there you go. That is every single one of my Wordbearers units. As I said at the start, to build something like this will cost you about £800, and then after that you've got to, of course, add troops and also add in heavy weaponry and maybe more transports. What do you guys think of? As a Legion, I really like Wordbearers. Rules wise, they might not be the best at all, but from an aesthetic point of view, I really think they capture Horus Heresy extremely well. And they're one of my most interesting Legions to read about, along with Thousand Suns. The next collection video you'll see will be of the Solar Auxilia, and then after that, the main focus of the channel will be of Raven Guard. So I hope you enjoy all of that content. What do you guys think of the Wordbearers collection? What are the key units that you can't live without, or that are your favourite? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down below. Thank you for watching. Death to the False Emperor.